it's Amber Marie from Forging Foundations. If you're new to my channel, I am a former teacher turned homeschool mom. I have 3 kiddos, ages 6, 3, and 10 months old. This is the 4th video in my theme for August, Back to School. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all about the math curriculum that I'm using. This year, we're finishing up the Level K math curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful, and then we'll be moving into the Level 1 curriculum as well. So let's go ahead and take a look. So as I said, we are using 2 different levels of the Good and the Beautiful math curriculum, and if you've watched my reflection video, you know why we're doing that, and I'll put a card up above just so that if you want to watch that you can. But we are finishing up course book 2 for the Level K, and then we are going to be moving into Level 1. Right here. So one thing I did want to mention is that I have a whole flip through video, 2-part series on the Level K curriculum. The second part goes into standards and how the Good and the Beautiful does a really good job of teaching on grade level and above grade level standards in their curriculum. And I also have a video on how I organize my math manipulative box. So I will link those in the description box below and put cards above so that you guys, if you are interested, can go check out those videos. Today's video is really going to focus on Level 1. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some things about Level 1 along with the reasons. I'm going to share the reasons why I like this curriculum for my son and for our future homeschooling. So one thing that I love about the Good and the Beautiful math curriculum is that everything you need is here, except for a few minor things that you need to pick up to add to your math manipulative box, which are listed in the front here. Let me just show you real quick. So here's everything that they already have in the math manipulative box, but then there are some additional items that you'll have to have on hand, and as you can see, the list is very small. There are things you probably already have: pencils, crayons, scissors. A timer must include a count up and a count down feature. Most timers on your phones have that, so if you don't want to go and get a timer specifically for your school, you can use the ones on your phone. Personal size dry erase board and dry erase markers, a dry erase pocket sleeve, and I have pocket sleeves that I've used, and let me actually, so I got a set of these dry erase pocket sleeves on Amazon, and I'll link those in the description box below. They came with a set of 4, I believe, but they're just dry erase sleeves. You just put something in here. You can also use page protectors, which you can also get on Amazon or any office supply store. Then you need 100 pennies, 20 nickels, 10 dimes, and 8 quarters, and those will be used throughout. I do have play money that I got from Lakeshore Learning, and you can also find those types of things on Amazon. I'll link some that I've found on Amazon before that you can use instead of real coins if you'd rather not have all those coins in your box. You need a 12-inch ruler, and then you need sticky notes or paper clips to mark pages. So there are a few things listed for Part 1 specifically, and then in the front of the course book, Part 2, there's some things that like cereal, paper clips, scratch paper, small items, you know, internet access, optional, plates, bowls, and cups. Those are all things that you're gonna have probably around your house. Anything you need is in the back of this book or in the math manipulative box. At the end of every course book, there's appendix items that are used during the lessons in the course book, and the ones for Part 1 are in the Part 1 course book, and then there's appendix items in Part 2 as well. In the math manipulative box, you have the games, which I'll go into a little bit later. I'm just kind of giving you a quick look in here, just to show you that there's a lot of stuff in here that you will have for your curriculum, and you don't need to go and get extra stuff like manipulatives to work with your child. So that's one of the things I really like about the Good and the Beautiful curriculum, is that it's open and go. I don't need to go get extra stuff, and most of the stuff that is extra is around my house. Another thing I love about this curriculum, and I did a video for this on Level K, and you can, like I said, I have it linked above, so you can, and in the description box, so you can go check it out. But I went into the standards for Level K through 2 when it came to number sense and the importance of number sense. In this level, it has grade 1 curriculum standards, but it also does touch on a few Level 2 skills and concepts. Now, when they do touch on them, it's more of just to introduce them to the concept and to expose them to it so that it's not something new that they see in the next level up. And anything that's a grade level above or 2 grade levels above is not put in the final assessment, because the final assessment is just testing your child's knowledge on grade 1 material, and they might have it in a section assessment, but as far as like a final assessment goes, you're not going to see those above grade level concepts being tested, because they want you to be able to see where your child is on grade level. Now, I will be doing a video kind of showing the on and above grade level standards and how the Good and the Beautiful scaffolds the learning in their curriculum for the level 1, but it won't be coming out until I actually move into this course book, which will probably be in the winter. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that video, because that was one of my most popular videos for level K, was just me going into how the Good and the Beautiful does such a great job of teaching those standards and how they scaffold the learning so that it's spiral and mastery approach, which is another thing that I wanted to say I love about this curriculum. They have the spiral and mastery approach in this curriculum. Spiral approach is when you review a concept over time, multiple times, you come back to it, and mastery approach is when you practice a concept until you have it mastered. The Good and the Beautiful does a great job of marrying these two approaches together, and I'll show you some ways they do that in this specific level as well. One last thing I love about the Good and the Beautiful curriculum is that it's adaptable to your schedule, your life, your homeschool. Some of the things that I just want to point out, and it has to do with like the layout of the lesson. Let's just take a look at lesson 6. They have different sections in the lessons. First, they have the daily dose. The daily dose is something that you do at the beginning of the lesson. However, the great thing about this curriculum is it doesn't tie to anything that you're doing in the lesson. It does review stuff that they've already learned, so you don't want to go ahead and skip to lessons ahead and do those daily doses without doing the lesson. But this is something you could bring into your morning basket. This is something you could bring into calendar time with your whole family. This is not something that needs to be done just during math time. You could do this at a separate time during the day. You could do it first, you could do it last. That's the great thing about this curriculum, is that it's just that versatile. You can move things and pieces around. Now, obviously you wouldn't want to do the student worksheet before the lesson, because the lesson teaches the child the concept that's going to be reviewed on the student worksheet. The lesson is parent directed, and it will be like that probably until grade level 3 and 4 and up. So level 1, K, and 2 will mostly be parent directed. Another thing is, with the lesson, you can do the lesson at any time, as long as you do it before the student worksheet. And the lesson it's great because each of the lessons has a bunch of different types of things. They have different elements in them, whether it's God, a story tying back to a story that was at the beginning of the section, hands-on learning, nature, art, music, anything. There's a bunch of different things that are in these types of lessons, and they spiral throughout the whole curriculum, which is really nice. Another note that I wanted to say that kind of ties back to the spiraling versus mastery is that in the daily dose, you're actually spiraling and mastery approach all in one. They're spiraling back to different concepts they've learned already, but then they're practicing them over and over in the daily dose until your child really becomes familiar with them and then moves on to another concept. So the daily dose doesn't look the same every day. It changes, and as your child masters certain concepts, they spiral in new concepts that they've learned that need to be practiced on a daily basis. After the lesson, there's a student worksheet, and the great thing about these student worksheets is they're all very different. This one's a cut and paste one, or cut and arrange one, and there's a bunch of different types of worksheets. This is actually a bonus activity, which I'll get into in a minute, but there's different types of worksheets. You can see some are coloring them in, some are just like a worksheet setup. Some use different strategies for practicing. So it's a great variety, and they're always super engaging and wonderful, wonderful illustrations. The other part, bonus activities practice different concepts that they've learned, but then also they practice things like spatial awareness and things like that. So you can see here, like this one's a word search. Many of the bonus activities use different manipulatives and different things that are in the activity box, which I'll show you. A lot of the bonus activities also integrate the games, which is one thing that is new to the level 1 specifically, is they actually have separate game boards. Now, in level K, they do have games that you play with your child, but there's not many game boards in level K. So this one has a whole set of game boards that you use with your child as bonus activities, or sometimes they're included in the lesson. That way that they have different examples. So you can see there's just a lot of cool bonus activities and student worksheets. I'm just kind of giving you a flip through real quick. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because there's a lot of videos out there from a bunch of different people that have flip throughs. And it's worth looking at the sample pages online because they have a lot of sample pages that you can kind of see what the curriculums look like. Now, one thing I did want to point out is each course book has 4 sections, and at the end of every section there is an assessment for that section. This one, I think I just skipped the first page. Yeah. Every section has an assessment at the end of the section, kind of checking to see your child's understanding of the concepts that were taught in that section. And then at the very end of the course, there is a final assessment that tests it out. So you get assessments throughout the whole course, which is really nice if you have to track for your state, because they give you assessments that show your child's progress, and then they also give you suggestions on what to do in the front of the book if your child doesn't completely pass with like a 80%, I think it is, or 70% rate, what to do to help them review those types of concepts. But another thing is there's 4 sections per course book. And each course or each section starts with a story. And what I love about these stories is that they're from different cultures, different areas of the world, different areas of the United States, and they're with different boys and different girls in different situations. So this one's with a little boy on a farm. In section 1, you can see this little girl, if you saw the first page, or the lesson that we were looking at. This one is life on the island, and you know, there's different stories, and it helps your child kind of learn about different cultures. But if each one kind of has different things that go into that culture as well, which is kind of fun too. Anyways, really good curriculum. So that's one thing I love about it, is that it's adaptable. You can split up those different sections of the lessons with the daily dose, the lesson, the worksheet, and the bonus activity to fit your homeschool schedule, your child's needs. If your child can't do all of it at one time, that's fine. Do the daily dose as a family. Do the lesson as together. Have your child do the student worksheet at a different time, maybe after lunch or while they're eating lunch, because you know, food helps the brain. That's one of the things I love about the curriculum as well, is how adaptable it is. So I want to go ahead and show you the inside of the math manipulative box. The nice thing about this box is it is for levels 1 and 2, so you don't have to get another math manipulative box until level 3. So that's really nice because you're just buying one, and you can use this with more than one student. One of the things I would say is, like, if you have 2 students that are at the same grade level, you might want to have 2 planners. But like I said before, like any of these things with like the place value chart or the games, those are things that you could do as a family. The My Planner you could do as a family, but there's fun stickers in the front, so I could see your children really wanting to have this by themselves. And these are actually sold separately too. Every piece that is in the manipulative box, like let's say you break something or lose something, or you know, my kids love playing with these pieces, and if you lose something or break something, each of these little pieces in here can be bought separately, so you don't have to buy another math manipulative box all together, which is awesome as well. So like I said, a lot of the bonus activities in the curriculum, along with like different activities that are in a lesson, like sometimes there's game lessons in the booklet, they have a game instruction manual for all the different games, and tells you how to play them. And I love this because it has pictures, guys. It has pictures and shows you exactly what you need to do with the game board and how to play, tells you all the supplies you need. and it just shows all the different fun games. And I know I was showing my son this booklet, and we haven't, like I said, we haven't gotten to level 1 yet, but he was so excited to see all these games and all the possible games that we could play. So that was really cool. Just the fact that they have a game manual, and whenever I do end up organizing this and moving this to my craft box, which I'll be doing once we switch levels, I'll be sure to do a video on how I organize that as well. But Mikkel at Monson Schoolhouse does have a video on how she organizes the level 1 curriculum, or the math manipulative box, so be sure to check that out. I'll also link that below. But so here are all the game boards, and you can see they're separate from each other, and a nice laminated paper, and they have 2 sides, so they're saving paper on that, and they have a bunch of different game boards, and they also have some of the boards that you'll need for the actual lessons, like certain 10 frames that go with the story. There's 2 10 frames, and for when you get up to 20, a bricklaying progress board, different things. So very, very nice paper and different manipulatives that you can use. But there's, like I said, the different games here, and just kind of flipping through so you can see them. Bunch of fun things. Can't wait for my son to play with these. Then these are part of the bonus activities as well, and I haven't actually cut these apart. Oh, they are perforated. Look at that. I didn't even know it. So they're perforated and they pull apart very easily. You can see that. So anyways, here's different pictures of different blocks that they can, or patterns they can make. Here's some more that just take away the type of pattern blocks. And I have seen, they have these types of pattern cards in the level K, and what I like about them is they start off with the shapes kind of shown, and then as they get harder and harder, they start taking away those outlines, and it forces your child to really use their spatial awareness and to figure out what types of shapes will fit in there. And sometimes it might even work out that some of the shapes are more than one different type of shape can fit in there. So anyways, those are some of the other types of things that are included. Let me get to there's some more stuff in here I want to show you guys. Here's some more pretty just other ways that they've used the pattern block things. They tie in some animal pictures, which is kind of cool. And then there's these, which is actually really cool. They talk about junior explorers. This is something that was in the level K as well. They had engineering and art. And so this time it's explorers, and they have them going to different places and looking at different animals in different parts of the world and creating them with the pattern blocks, which is really cool. Visiting different locations and having the name of the countries. Super cool. How many times can I say cool, guys? So anyways, those are all the things that come in that setup, where it's like that laminated paper that's really sturdy. So then they've got the My Planner, and they reference the My Planner in the lessons and in the course book, and it's used in the daily dose, I think, for some of it as well. So this is something, it's really nice and easy to use. There's different lessons on like weeks and days, and then they have a whole month's worth. I like the About Me page at the front too, but they have a whole month's worth of or a whole year worth of months. So, you know, that's kind of nice as well. One of the things I like here too is it does show you what lessons, it does show you what lessons you're going to be using this course book or this planner in, and as you can see, it starts right at lesson 1 and it goes all the way up till lesson 120. So you're using this planner throughout the whole course book. It's not just one of those things where you use it and then it's done. It's just really nice to see that. So this is something, like I said in the video earlier, this was something you'd probably, if you have more than one child on level 1, you'd want to have your own planner for. So they do give you another place value chart, which is nice, and they have these little pockets, adhesive pockets that you stick on here. It's dry erase, and my son loves this. He loves opening his one for level K and like adding to the base 10 blocks that are on here, and the way that they have the place value chart is they have these, they have the paper place value pieces, and it's on a cardstock, and your child colors in the ones, and then once they've colored in all the ones and create a 10, they make the 10, they glue the 10 rod to 100 here, and once all the 10s have been colored in, like once you've completed 10 of these rods and glue them on here, then it gets moved over to the 100. So as you can see, like, and this is my level K one. My son's at 63, and he has loved the fact that he's been able to color each one whatever color he wants. One day he did a pattern, one day he wanted to do all blue. Right now he's doing purple because that's my favorite color. So he is just loving this, and we're only 4 10s away from 100, and he cannot wait until we get to 100. So that's something he has really enjoyed. So they have the same type of place value chart in the level 1. And that's kind of nice because if you have children that go through all the levels, you're gonna have a bunch of these. And so you can have, you can save, like I'm probably gonna save this one for when our other one gets really ratty and falling apart. And then that way I don't have to go buy another one. This will just be our new one, So really nice about that. They have a clock here, and the hands move really nicely. It has the Good and Beautiful logo on it, which I love. So that's, you practice a lot of time this level, which is really nice. So they have that. They have these wooden 3D shapes, because your child does learn about different 3D shapes this year, or for level 1 and level 2. So that's really cool. They have the pyramid. They have, a cylinder, rectangular prism, sphere, half spheres, I think those are called. Oh, they have a special name, but I can't remember right now. I'm blanking. But anyways, they have these really nice, and they're nice wooden like pieces that's really nice to hold on to and sturdy, not gonna break if you drop them on the floor or drop them in your box. They also have, and I think I accidentally pulled this out. They also have 2 dice here, 2 of the 10-sided dice. They have these counter pieces that have double-sided red and yellow, and they also have 2 game pieces, if I can get them out. My hands can only do so much. They have 2 game pieces too for a bunch of the different games as well. So then they have these pieces here. These are the base 10 bricks, and these are really thick, guys. These are super thick, and I love it because it helps. Like, I've looked at some of the lessons for the base 10 bricks, and it's fun just for the kids to realize, like, okay, this is a wall. Like, this is a big wall of bricks, and here is maybe the first row of your wall, and you're just building 1 row at a time, and you're putting down 1 brick at a time. So it's a really good real world way to bring in base 10 blocks. But they have the 10s, the 10s, the 100s, and then they have the 1 pieces as well. They have a bunch of different pieces, and I'm not gonna get each of these out, but they have a bunch of different pieces that go with these storylines. So there's eggs, shells, and marbles. They also have fraction pieces, and they have different shaped fraction pieces. They have circles, rectangles, and basically like every shape you can think of. Some of them are labeled and some of them are not, so you want to just be sure like you use the right fraction pieces when you get to those lessons. They have these tangram pieces, and these are the ones that are used with these different shapes here. The different shape cards. So they're a little different than pattern blocks, so you probably wouldn't want to go and try and use pattern blocks for these because the shapes are not going to be the same. So these come in the set as well. There's number cards for different games that you're playing and for number lines and things like that. And they also have these base 10 brick cards, and I think these are used for games as well, along with some learning when you get to expanded form and showing different ways to show a number, counting out 10s and things like that. They also have these other cards here. These wipeout cards, they're used differently in different games, so you'll want to be sure to pay attention to the instruction manual when these are mentioned. And then they have addition symbols, greater than, less than symbols, subtraction symbols, minus symbols, and equal symbols. So They have a bunch of different cards for a bunch of different things. These are used in the game pieces, but then they're also, or the games, but then they're also used throughout the lessons as well. They have a measuring tape, and on this measuring tape, they have an inches side and a centimeter side, because they do learn about both. And then they have these cute little domino cards, and let's see if I can open this up. And on these domino cards, they're double 9 domino cards, and so there's 52 cards, or 55 cards included. They have the 0, they have 1, all the way up to both sides having 9 cards, so 18 all together. So these are used for different things. They're used in the lessons, they're used for the games, they're used for review material, and that kind of thing. They use these for a lot of different things. So these are really nice little hard pieces. They have a little emblem on the or the logo on the back. So very, very nice cards. So like I said, this is the curriculum we'll be using for the majority of the school year. As I said before, we are finishing up the level K, but we will be starting this soon in this school year, and we'll be trying to finish it, but I'm not going to rush and try and finish this. If we don't get through both course books, then we'll go ahead and carry on the second course book to the next school year. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If the video was helpful for you, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.